The Prince Who Chose the Pitch. Part 1. The Palace and the Pitch. Faiq Bolkiah was born with two worlds waiting for him. One world was marble floors, state dinners, and a last name that could buy entire countries. His uncle is the Sultan of Brunei, one of the wealthiest men alive. Family fortune? Estimated $20 billion. Faiq's personal net worth is often tossed around at $20 billion too, though most of that is family money, not his own paycheck. The other world was mud, grass stains, the sting of a badly timed tackle, and the taste of sweat after 90 minutes. At age 8, Faiq made his choice. While other kids in the palace played with gold-plated toys, he was begging his dad to let him kick a ball against the garden walls until the servants had to repaint them. "You can have anything," his father told him once. "Why this?" Faiq just pointed at the TV. Premier League. Rooney scoring. Old Trafford shaking. Because nobody can buy that feeling. So they sent him to England. Not to Eton. To Southampton's academy. Then Chelsea. Then Leicester. He wasn't there because of his name. Most kids didn't even know. He was there because at 15, he could run 90 minutes without dropping, and his left foot could put a ball on a coin from 30 yards. Part 2. The weight of a name. Being rich doesn't help when you're 16 and your coach is screaming at you for missing a pass. Money doesn't make your lungs stop burning in pre-season, and it definitely doesn't stop the whispers. Rich kid. Nepo baby. He's only here because of his uncle. Faiq heard it all. Every academy has a kid who gets cut for not being good enough. Faiq had to prove he wasn't getting kept for being too good off the pitch. At Leicester, he trained with players who were sending money home to families that needed it. Guys who played like their rent was due if they lost. Faiq respected that, so he never showed up in a flashy car. Took the team bus. Shared a cramped flat with two other academy lads. When they asked why he didn't just buy a house, he said, "Then I wouldn't be hungry like you. And I need to be hungry." He never made a Premier League appearance. Came close. Made the bench a few times. But close doesn't get you a statue. In 2020, he left England. No big farewell tour. Just a quiet goodbye to the dream he'd chased since he was 8. Part 3. Finding his league. Failure in Europe would have been the end for most. For Faiq, it was a pivot. He signed for Maritimo in Portugal. Then Chonburi FC in Thailand. People laughed. The richest footballer in the world, and he's playing in Thai League One. But here's what they missed. Faiq wasn't playing for a contract. He was playing for 22 kids in the stands who'd never seen a prince sweat. In Thailand, he became a star. Not because of his name, because he tracked back in the 90th minute when his team was up 3-0. Because he stayed after training to sign every shirt. Because he set up a foundation that funds football pitches in rural Brunei and Thailand. One game in 2022, Chonburi was down 2-1 in injury time. Faiq, playing left wing, cut inside. Everyone expected a cross. Instead, he hit it. Top corner. Stanchion. Stadium went nuclear. After the game, a reporter asked, "You could be anywhere." Yachts. F1 paddock. "Why here?" Faiq pulled up his sock. Shin guard was cracked. Tape holding it together. "Because this," he said, tapping it, "I earned. The other stuff I was just born into." Part 4. The Other Inheritance. Today, Faiq captains Brunei's national team. They're not going to the World Cup anytime soon. But when he walks out with the armband, 10,000 people in Bandar Seri Begawan stand. Not for his uncle. For him. He still trains like he's 17 and trying to make Chelsea's U18s. Still gets to training first. Still does extra runs. His teammates used to call him boss. He told them to knock it off. "Just call me Faiq. Or pass me the ball." Once a year, he goes home to the palace. Eats with family. Listens to ministers talk about oil prices. Then he flies back to Thailand, to a modest apartment near the training ground. Someone asked him if he regrets not making it in England. If he thinks about the money he didn't make as a footballer, since his salary is maybe $100,000 a year, pocket change for his family. He laughed. "I'm the richest footballer in the world, right? So I already won. Now I get to see if I can become a footballer too." Last month, a kid in Brunei scored his first goal on a pitch Faiq's foundation built. They interviewed the kid after. "Who's your favorite player?" The kid didn't say Messi. Didn't say Ronaldo. He said Faiq. Because he could be anything, and he chose to be like us. Final scene. 10 minutes later. Faiq's boots are off. He's icing his ankle in a Thai locker room that smells like liniment and wet grass. His phone buzzes. It's his uncle. State dinner next week. The British PM will be there. Faiq types back. Can't. We've got Burham away. Big game. He puts the phone down, closes his eyes. And for a minute, the richest footballer in the world isn't a prince or a headline or a net worth stat. He's just a 28-year-old who's sore, tired, and can't wait for training tomorrow. Because some things you really can't buy.
I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Golden sunlight. If I'm going